What's good, y'all? My name is Jason, and in this video I'm going to talk a little bit about the stock market and how it works, and I also want to show you my beginning stages of me saving $1,000 in my brokerage account. Let's get into it. So since you're watching this video, go ahead and hit the subscribe button so that you can follow the channel. So to understand the stock market, I think it's important that we kind of separate the words and look at them individually. The word stock, otherwise known as a share, is basically a security that represents part ownership in a corporation. And a market is basically a place where, people come to exchange goods and services. So like you have a farmer's market where people come to buy and sell fruit. You have the real estate market where people deal with property and things like that. So the stock market is basically a place where people come together, they buy and sell their shares or ownership of these companies. So in order to buy shares of a company, that company needs to be publicly traded. For example, my business, SAJ Screen Printing and Design, is not a publicly traded company. It's a private business that's just ran by me and my wife, and we don't allow people to buy shares of our business and be part owners along with us as well. Other companies like In-N-Out or IKEA, these are also private companies that the general public cannot become part owners in. On the flip side, you have companies like Nike, Walmart, Target, and Tesla, and thousands of other different companies that are publicly traded, which means the general public is allowed to go and buy shares of the company. The reason why companies choose to go from private to public is because they're trying to raise capital. They want to raise money. So instead of this company deciding to go into debt or figuring out a new product or service to sell in order to generate more revenue, they'll do things like list themselves on the stock market exchange so that their company can be basically broken down into a bunch of different shares that people can then buy. Let's take the company Nike, for example, and say they have 1,000 shares available for sale on the stock market. If I were to buy one of those 1,000 shares, then I would essentially own 1/1000th of the company Nike. In reality, these companies actually have millions of shares, and because they're publicly traded, by law, they are required to show their financial documents like their balance sheet, their income statements, how much revenue they're generating per quarter, the amount of debt that they have. All of this stuff has to be public information, and the reason why is so that investors could be able to make an informed decision. Before I buy a share of a company, I want to make sure that it's a company that's healthy and that's solid and that's just worth investing in. If we take my business, for example, my screen printing business, if somebody wanted to buy a share of my business and become a part owner, then they're going to want to look at all of my financial statements to be able to decide whether or not, okay, this is a good business to invest in or not. So you might be wondering like, okay, how do I actually buy a share of a company? Well, the process is actually pretty simple. You just have to have a brokerage account, which is similar to a bank account in the sense that you can deposit and withdraw money. I also like to compare brokerage account to like Netflix. You know how you sign into Netflix, you can browse around and look at different types of movies you want to watch or different types of genres you want to watch. Well, in your brokerage account, you can browse around and look at different types of companies that you want to become a part owner of. And if you're wondering like, okay, how much does one share of a company cost? Well, that varies depending on the specific company that you're looking at. So for instance, if you want to buy one share of Twitter, that will cost about $35 at the time of this recording. So if you want to buy a share of like Disney, that would cost about $140, and the price can even go up pretty high to the point like where if you want to buy one share of Google, that'll cost like over $2,600. So yeah, the price just really varies depending on which company you're looking at. So one thing you want to keep in mind is that the stock market is not open 24/7. It actually opens 9:30 in the morning Eastern time, and it closes at 4 p.m. Eastern time. And since I'm here in California, that means it opens at 6:30 in the morning and then it closes at 1 p.m. So anytime during that time slot, I can buy and sell shares of whatever company. And investing in the stock market doesn't have to be this difficult or overwhelming or confusing thing. Like, before I did it, obviously it was just foreign to me. and I had these ideas that I thought it was just something that, you know, rich people do or whatever, but it's not. It's for people who want to basically invest their money, you know, put it somewhere other than a bank. It's for people who want to basically just grow their wealth over time. So when I first started investing, you know, it really helped change my perspective on the world. I'm even looking at trash trucks differently. Like, that's not just a trash truck, you know, that's a real company that has a valuable service that produces revenue year after year that I can become a part owner of. And that's what it's all about, ownership. You know, generally speaking, yeah, people come to the stock market to make money. You know, you buy a share for a certain price, it goes up in value, you sell it, that's how you can collect your profits. So for example, let's say one share of McDonald's costs $10. If you buy for $10 and the price of that share goes up in value to $15, then if you do decide to sell it, well, you've made $5. And so you also might be wondering, like, okay, what drives the price of a stock up or down? And from a very broad and basic standpoint, it's just supply and demand. You know, if you have the price of a share, it's going up, it's because there's a lot of buyers who are coming in and buying that share. If you have a price that's dropping, then that's because a lot of sellers are coming in and selling that share. You know, you can think about it from this standpoint. Let's say you're on Craigslist and you want to put your lamp up for sale. You know, you have a lamp for $40 that you put up for sale. If a bunch of people come and they're making offers like, here, I want to buy your lamp, $40, one of the first things you're gonna think is like, dang, I should have put that lamp up for $50 or maybe $60, you know, because I have so many people who want my lamp. It's in high demand. Now, if you think about it from this perspective, like, okay, if nobody wants to buy your lamp for $40, then one of the things you're gonna do is probably go on and say, okay, let me lower the price. So it's like same thing with the stock, you know, it's supply and demand. All right, you guys, so at this point, I'm getting ready to take you inside of my brokerage account, which is through M1 Finance. M1 Finance is one of several different brokerage firms that you can use to invest your money in and buy stocks. So let's go ahead and check it out. So we are signed in, and as you can see, my cash balance is currently $0. To get started, I'll be putting $100 in this account, and it'll pretty much just sit here in this account until, you know, I'm ready to basically buy some stocks. My goal is to basically have, you know, save up $1,000 and start investing. And I just want to basically, you know, bring you guys along for the journey, and so you can see how the process goes. All right, y'all, thanks for taking the time to watch my video. If you feel like it was of value, go ahead and hit the like button, and also click subscribe so that you can follow my journey with investing. And if you are new to investing and you want to basically join me as well, there are 2 links in the description below. One is for the Webull brokerage firm, and the other one is for Robinhood. These are 2 other brokerage firms that I've used before that if you open up an account with them using those links, I believe you could get some free stocks, and I would get some free stocks as well. So it's kind of like a win-win situation. So yeah, if you have any comments, feel free to leave them down below. And yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.